Hi guys, welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm E.
I'm D.
And today we're back at it. You know it. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna sound a little more excited. More excited than Courtney. Yes, we're gonna talk about Courtney, but also Kim. We're going to talk about the Kim versus Courtney feud over the years. Like, we're on season 4 of the Kardashians, and they're still at it. They're getting nastier. So I think we can all like assess and know that this is deeper than
Dolce.
Dolce, deeper than Dolce. You know, Keeping Up was a whole 20 seasons. We're now on season 4 of the Hulu version of the Kardashians. So that's
Right.
24 seasons of drama, family fights, well, sister rivalries or fights or whatever. So
Mhm.
we just kind of want to understand like what has gotten them to this point.
Right.
We're going to talk about, I guess, a few big instances where, fights were nasty over
Mhm.
the years. So yeah, let's get started. Kim and Kourtney Kardashian have had their fair share of on-camera disagreements over the years, and fans of E's Keeping Up with the Kardashians have watched Kim and Kourtney repeatedly go head-to-head since the early days of their hit reality TV series, which began in 2007. How long is that?
Years.
That is a long, long time. So, over 15 years later, the sisters have continued to feud, with viewers now watching the drama unfold on the family's Hulu show, The Kardashians. The timeline of Kim and Kourtney's beef includes years of yelling, cursing, and even physical altercations, which makes it, when it got physical, I actually got really, really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about 9 memorable feuds. We're going to start from the beginning. Season 2, episode 7 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. We're going to call this the Bentley Brawl.
Oh, okay.
So, way back in 2008, Kim and Kourtney had a memorable argument over a situation regarding Kim's then new Bentley, which was chronicled on the show. Chloe got into a disagreement with the man who was helping Kim with the car after she kept waiting. Kourtney and Chloe were angry that Kim did not defend Chloe and told her that they would never look at her the same. Kourtney remarked, "You're so gross. All you care about is money." Fast forward to now, she's still saying the same thing.
Right.
As Kim approached Rob's apartment, she heard Chloe call her a weak duck, then entered the apartment and famously hit Chloe with her bag while remarking, "Don't be so effing rude." I hope you remember that. What's just what, right? Then she punched her younger sister in the arm while Kourtney told her to stop. Kourtney later accused Kim of lacking a sense of loyalty.
Ooh.
What do we?
It's funny because I think of like the memes or the gifs and all that stuff, and it's just like it's always like a hilarious thing. But I didn't remember, what led to all that, like why she was angry or whatnot. So that's interesting that it was pertaining to something with a vehicle and not standing up for Chloe, and Kourtney and Chloe basically ganging up on her. Um,
And
and
Rob too.
and Rob, yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one, just because of how long it's been, I guess.
Yeah, this was 2008. But I think this shows, and we'll see it later, that they always used to gang up on Kim.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I guess Kim has always been about her money. That was her
Right.
first Bentley. Why couldn't Kourtney be happy for her at that moment?
Oh my gosh, stop.
Well, we'll go to the next one.
The next feud that we are very much remembering is the diamond earring devastation. I mean, oh my gosh, heartbreaking. So heartbreaking. Season 6, episode 11 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. In 2011, Kim was devastated when her expensive diamond earring was lost in the ocean, but Kourtney was far from sympathetic. The famous family were enjoying a trip to Bora Bora, but disaster struck for Kim when she lost the $75,000 piece of jewelry and she was left in tears. Kim was thrown into the water by her husband at the time, Chris Humphreys, and her earring came loose after landing in the ocean. She screamed, "My earring's gone. F. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. My diamond earring," before adding, "We're not going to find it in the ocean." Appearing from one of the family's huts to see what all the commotion was about, Courtney scolded, "Kim, there's people that are dying." Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Memorable.
Memorable. But, I think I've mentioned it in other videos. I think Courtney is always so dismissive
Yeah.
about her feelings. Like, yes, Kim is materialistic. That's who she is to her core, probably.
Yeah.
Like she says.
Right.
Those are things that are very important to her. So for Courtney to be like, there's people that are dying, or, in the latest one, well, I don't care about these I think she said like bullshit details about, the Dolce and Gabbana campaign and da da da
Yeah.
da. She's kind of dismissing like what her sister's doing or her likes or dislikes kind of thing. So that's why I think when sometimes Kim is mean to her, or, sometimes she is outrightly mean, but when she's mean to her, and I'm like, well, just Courtney can't wrap her mind around um the flipping of the script now. Like
Yeah.
now everybody's ganging up on her and she doesn't know how to handle it. So she's
Right.
still being equally as nasty as she was in the beginning of the show. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, again, the video has become like its own meme, gif, whatever you want to call it, and it's just funny at this point. But I think that like it's interesting for that comment to be made about people are dying, but like you're also on this family vacation to Bora Bora. Like that's a pricey vacation to take. You
Mhm.
are enjoying this, money, right? Like so, you know, in a way that's a little bit materialistic of her, and maybe I think something you've commented on in the past is that you think Courtney's very similar to Kim and she hates that she is. And I feel like this is one of those instances where it kind of reminds me of that. Like, because here you are, staying at an overwater bungalow, which God knows those are expensive, in Bora Bora. Like, there's no way. Like, if you were not a materialistic person, why would you have done that? Why would you have like gone all the way out there? Like and
Mhm.
so I think it's like you're picking and choosing the things that you want to be callous about and the things that like, bother you or don't bother you. So yeah, like in that sense, I think, was Kim being overly dramatic? Yes, of course. When is she not? But $75,000, I'm gonna be swimming in that ocean all day, every day trying to find it. Like,
Why couldn't they have one of those little detectors? Like nobody thought
no,
about that?
probably not.
I wouldn't have left. I want my earring. And she didn't know
Right.
she was going to be a billionaire then.
Exactly.
All right, the next one, season 10, episode 2 of Keeping Up with the Kardashian. We're going to call this the video blank game.
Oh, okay.
In 2015, fans saw Kim and Courtney go head to head over Kim's video game, Kim Kardashian Hollywood. I'm just laughing because it's always like a Kim centered thing, it seems.
Of
Or
course.
if that's the trend right now.
Yeah.
Kim wanted her family members to be featured in the game in order to mirror her real life and was upset when Courtney did not oblige. After claiming that Scott Disick has suggested that she buy Courtney a pair of shoes, Kim famously remarked, um, sorry, I lost my space. Where am I?
Kim remark.
Buy her, it was basically like buy her shoes. I bought her an effing career. No, well, we know she did.
Yeah.
Kim expressed that Courtney should do her a favor and be in the game, while Courtney said that she didn't care about random things. Doesn't that still sound like her?
Yeah.
As Complex reported, Courtney sent Kim a cease and desist letter. However, the sisters eventually made up and Kourtney agreed to appear on the game.
I feel like that kind of seems more of a I want you to beg me to be on your game kind of thing. Because
Mm.
it's like you were never not going to be a part of it. Like, that's the brand, right? The sisters. There's no way that she would not. It was more, I think, a point of trying to drag things along to make Kim's life miserable. But Kim also, it's like you're very much, about your money, about trying to do these things that advance your career and everything. And yeah, you gave Kourtney a career in essence, but like I feel like over the years she has made it a point to like shove that in her face. It's like, well, you guys have what you have because of me. Well, this and that because of me. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But it's like, how many times can you really like rub that in somebody's face
Mhm.
before that person becomes resentful of you? So who knows how many times she had said that to Kourtney in the past, and it maybe like was one of those things that like in order to like make her be uncomfortable, make Kim be the one to like need her, she put her through all that.
Yeah, I think they both like this back and forth cat and
Yeah,
mouse kind of thing.
I think so. That's what it
Because
feels like.
telling her I bought you an effing career, those are fighting words again. Like you said, this latest episode was gaslighting. So mm,
I swear, these sisters. The next conflict is the Christmas card conflict from season 15 of Keeping Up. In 2018, it kicked off with one of Kim and Kourtney's most infamous feuds to date. Kim was trying to work around everyone's different schedules and plan a day for them to have a photo shoot for the family Christmas card. However, she was having difficulty adhering to Kourtney's request. Kourtney remarked, "I'm leaving at 4 p.m. and I don't care what anyone says." Kim expressed that she was supposed to have a meeting at that time, and Kourtney encouraged her to have her meeting at 7 a.m. instead. The disagreement then got heated, with Kim repeatedly telling her older sister to get the F out of here and go. The Skin founder continued, "No one wants you in the effing shoot. I'm planning it. I'm planning the shoot. So we don't want you in the shoot." Kris Jenner chimed in and agreed with Kim that Kourtney was being annoying, and the sisters continued to go back and forth. In a quote that quickly became an online meme, Kim said, "Maybe if you had a business that you were passionate about, then you would know what it takes to run an effing business, but you don't. So don't even act like you know what I'm talking about." After Kourtney left the room, Kim famously referred to her as the least exciting to look at. She continued, "She doesn't do ish. She doesn't know what it's like to actually have effing work to do." I mean,
that's one of my favorite
it,
scenes.
yeah. Okay. So the way that this is like, kind of outlined, it seems Kim is trying to work with everyone's schedules, right? And that's hard. That is hard to manage. When you got multiple people trying to manage their schedules, it is hard to get something to come together. So for Kourtney to be completely unaccommodating and wanting things to be in her way, her whole thing, like that was a little bit much, because had it been Kourtney the one planning everything and Kim like having this crazy schedule, what would Kourtney have done? Kourtney probably would have just said, "Well, you don't got to be a part of it," and that's it. Moved on. She would have done her own thing. Kim
Hmm.
is still trying to get her to be a part of it until the point that she loses it and it's just like done with her. And like I get that perspective. I get that she was like over it by that point with Kourtney. Because Kourtney was not even really trying to be accommodating. But I feel like what probably made it even worse was having Kris agree with Kim. Because it's
Yeah.
like, why? Why are you getting in the middle of that?
But she was being difficult because they were
No, she
all there,
was.
like, talking about it or whatever. And she says, I'm leaving at 4 and I don't care what anyone says. Like that, I feel like is very typical Kourtney
Yeah.
behavior. Well, I'm doing this and I don't care,
Yeah.
deal with it, work around my schedule.
Right.
And, it's not mentioned here, but I think that episode also said, well, wouldn't you want, or, well, actually, let me backtrack. It was like Courtney saying, well, I want to put my kids to bed and spend time with them and this is
Yeah.
and that. And Kim's rebuttal was, well, this is a photo shoot with your family and kids. Wouldn't you want that?
Yeah.
So, you know,
It was too much.
this alludes to like one of those other what was it called? The candy one. I don't know if we're gonna cover it
Yeah.
here.
I think so.
Um,
I think it's coming up.
that she's, all organic and things like that. Is it
Yeah.
coming up?
Yeah. It's
Okay, so we'll talk about it then. So, oh, it's my my go. The copycat spat. Is that where we're at?
Yes.
All right. In 2019, this is season 17, episode 2 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. In 2019, Kim accused Kourtney of copying her fashion sense, saying she kept picking all the same clothes. Kourtney responded, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never dressed like you. See, they always have this like passive aggressive relationship with each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
So, I can't understand these girls. Kim said in her confessional, I don't think Kourtney really understands all the legwork that goes behind this. Like, I don't think anybody understands. You have to have a really good relationship with these designers. I've spent months and months flying to Miami to see what his vision is. So for her to jump in, I was like, oh, come on. She has no idea what it took, basically, or how to make this work. Kourtney said in her confessional, it's so ridiculous that we're even having this conversation because Kim and I have completely different styles.
Oh,
Listen
cool.
to this. Isn't this reminiscent of Dolce?
Mm-hmm.
So even if we were to wear the same designer, we wear it in completely different ways. The pair referred to designers Terry Mugler and Rick Owens.
I think that they are the epitome of sibling rivalry. Like, yeah, no. And honestly, I feel it's more that, and I think I said it in the last season, our reviews. It always just kind of seems more like Kourtney has more of these negative feelings towards Kim. I think Kim, because she is very self-involved, I don't think she fully notices or acknowledges that she's a problem in any way, and so she just assumes everybody loves her. But it's like she doesn't understand that Kourtney does not like her. She may love her because that's her blood, but Kourtney does not like her. And it's like when you don't like someone, you should not be around them. But
Hmm.
because they're siblings, they're continuously together and they keep having like the same kind of issue over and over again, never getting to the bottom of what the issue is.
I know this is like so small, but there was like one episode of the Kardashians. It was probably the first season, or maybe the same season as which was it, the Bentley Brawl or something.
Hmm.
I remember Kim lived in an apartment, and I remember Kourtney would stop by, and Kim was in her confessionals, and she said, Kourtney thinks that this is a one-stop shop. She comes here, takes my
Yeah,
clothes, doesn't return it, da 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 da. So
right.
Kourtney, why do I remember this? I don't know. But Kourtney goes into her closet, is like, Kim, I need to borrow a sweater. I'm going to the movies.
Yeah,
She's like, oh, okay. She's like, oh, what about this sweater? It's like, no, it's cashmere, whatever. I haven't worn it. The other one, oh no, I haven't worn it yet. Oh, and then she's getting frustrated. She's like, Kim, I just need an effing sweater to go to the movies. She's like, I'm taking this one. And Kim is like, no, this is da 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 da. And then she just walks out, kind of thing.
yeah,
So I just feel like sometimes Kourtney doesn't respect Kim's stuff or Kim's space, you know.
right,
And, she has this probably entitlement because she is the older sibling, or it
right,
has like, feels like she has this authority over everybody else,
right.
So I don't know. I just sometimes don't think she's that respectful of people's things or time.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't really think she is a lot of the time. Whew. Well, the next feud that we have here listed is the Candy Clash in season 17, episode 9 of Keeping Up. So in 2019, viewers saw the sisters disagree about the candy choices for their daughter's joint birthday party. The pair had decided to have a Candyland themed birthday bash from Northwest and Penelope Disick. Kim grew frustrated when Courtney expressed that she wanted there to be healthier candy options. She said, "It's Candyland, Courtney. It's not gonna be healthy." Disagreement later got heated, with Kim exclaiming, "It's a Candyland themed party. Yes, that's like what the party is about, Candyland. It's not effing gluten free land over here." Unable to see eye to eye, the sisters agreed to host different parties.
I didn't remember if they had different parties, to be honest.
They did end up having the Candyland party, but I guess
I think
not.
so. Because I remember Kim saying, well, Courtney was right. That was too much sugar or something.
Yeah.
But, before we go to the real bad ones,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not a Courtney lover. I try, but I don't. For me, it's sometimes hard to understand her because she wants to be, life is precious, family is everything. I'm all organic. What are you doing this, doing that? And then I think it was probably in that episode or some other episode, it's Kim's like, well, if you're so organic, you're in these leather seats, you're wearing plastic glasses.
Right.
Recently, she just had Courtney had a baby shower, and apparently she released a balloon, and some of the internet's people lost it. He's like, "Oh, you're claiming that you care about the world, but you're here releasing balloons." And
Of
always, the internet is always divided, of course, Kim
course.
versus Courtney. But it's like some of the things that she does doesn't correlate with her beliefs. Just like you mentioned, she's here in a bungalow, living a lavish lifestyle. And she's like, Kim, there's people that are dying. I'm like, you don't care that people are dying,
I know.
to be honest. So I think that's one of my beefs with her.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, it's like you're you're entitled to, like, live whatever life you want to live and do things how you want to do them, but it's like to force that on other people, I feel like that's a little bit much,
Hmm.
um and I think that she was doing that hardcore there. So that's like, it's a kid's birthday party, like, you know one
Yeah.
day out of the year you're telling me like they can't have just a little bit of like candy or whatever. Like, I don't know. That was just Anyway, that was a little bit much.
I know. I just think that, she wants to not be rich, but be rich at the same time. Like,
Yeah, for
she
sure.
wants to be like famous, but she don't want to work.
Yeah,
I
for
don't know.
sure.
Let us know what you think in the comments about Kim and Courtney. I know we've been talking about them, I feel like, for like
Forever.
2 weeks straight
I know.
recently, but let us know what you think. All right. So this is where it starts getting a little juicy.
Mhm.
The SmackDown. Season 18 premiere of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. In 2020, Courtney and Kim's beef came head to head when things got physical during the episode. Kim's upset that her older sister questioned her work ethic. No, Kim upset her older sister, sorry, when she questioned her work ethic, prompting a physical altercation to unfold between the pair. Courtney said, change that narrative in your mind. I work my effing ass off. The sisters then got into an altercation involving pushing, kicking, scratching, punching, and slapping. Chloe tried to break up the fight as the sisters continued to smack one another. And we know
Oh,
how that went.
yeah.
I didn't think they had it in them.
I didn't think so either, but I don't know. I was kind of glad it happened. Like, I mean, because after all this time, all these years of like,
I'm like, I think they need to hash it out again. Celebrity Deathmatch. Who remembers that show? Because clearly, like, they're not over it yet.
well, like, just okay. Obviously, I'm not condoning violence and none of that stuff, but like, these are siblings, and sometimes like you got to duke it out. Just get it out of your system. Something is in there lodged deep, and you need to get it out. And sometimes words just don't cut it. You know,
We're no
So
violence, guys.
no, of course not. But like in that particular case, after years and years and years of this crap, it was like, okay, might as well just get it out. And I thought like, okay, that would help to like kind of force them to really evaluate their relationship and the way in which they've handled things over the years. But clearly, it didn't do the trick.
Hmm.
Did not do the trick. Prince of Ozark over here.
I don't know. That episode like really upset me
Yeah,
because I don't think things should get physical,
right.
but
I
you
mean,
know.
it's disappointing. It's like really to that extent.
But I think that that was a time also when like Courtney was having, I don't want to call it a nervous breakdown, but a little crisis. I think she was just turning 40. We
Oh
saw
yeah,
that she was having like this, I don't want to call it a meltdown, but she
yeah,
was coming to terms that she was almost 40, reevaluating stuff that happened with Scott and all these things. My life is not where it's supposed to be. Anxieties about her birthday, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
So I think that she was already getting kind of nasty at that point.
yeah.
And, based on all the feuds that we've gone over so far, it's been building.
Right. Yeah, no,
And
definitely.
I think it was like last season where we were covering some of the episodes where they were saying they were pressuring me to, get a business, Chris and
Oh
Kim,
yeah.
like, what's yours? Like, what are you going to do? Blah, 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 blah. So, just them saying, oh, what kind of business do you have? You don't have anything. You don't want to do anything. Like, you're lazy. So I could see this escalating the way it did.
Right. Whew.
But it's
Well,
sad.
our next feud here is the nanny negation. Season 20, episode 9 of Keeping Up. In 2021, fans watched Kim and Courtney disagree over a situation with a family nanny while at a vacation home in Malibu, California. Courtney expressed that she was unhappy with how the unnamed nanny had spoken to her son, Rain Disick. Kim and Courtney discussed the argument, or an argument that Courtney then had with the nanny, and disagreed on the events that occurred. Kim said, I like her, so she's not getting fired. I like to keep my staff for a long time, so that's how I feel. The Lemmy founder responded, I don't care, keep her. She will not ever be around my kids. Kim then accused her older sister of not being able to keep a nanny, prompting Courtney to tell her to shut the F up. Listen, I'm not a parent, so I'm not about to sit here and tell somebody how to parent their kids, but it is obvious Little Rain is a little trouble. Like, I mean, you know? And then in seasons prior, wasn't there an issue where like Penelope did something to one of the nannies when she was like a toddler or something like that? Like, I don't know if she like threw
Mhm.
something at them, or I don't remember exactly. Anyway, point is,
I
like,
remember the cough drop thing.
what was
I think Chloe was at Courtney's house, and the kids were running amok over there, and Brandon was like, "I want a cough drop right now!" Like, and then Chloe was just looking at her like, "Are you not gonna tell your kids something? Hit them across the head? Do something?"
so, again, like everybody's got their own parenting style or whatnot.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, and seeing how Courtney is, right? We've seen her for so many years, 16, 17 years now. So we've seen her from before she was a mom to then becoming a mom to the way that she's been. Her actions, the way her attitude is, can be a reflection of her children, because that is what her children are around all the time, right? So it's like if you are a nasty person to your family, to others, who's to say that your children won't have some of those same tendencies or that same behavior? Again, I'm not claiming this is what's happened or whatever, but I mean, yeah, like running down this list of all of these issues, it kind of becomes very clear that Courtney has been very problematic, like for a long, long time. I'm not excusing Kim. I'm not saying Kim is a
Kim
victim.
has clearly been self-centered,
She
but
has.
I have a problem with Courtney's attitude.
But the behavior of Kim and her self-centeredness, her materialistic, it does not equate the nastiness that comes from Kourtney's attitude. Like that, it doesn't add up to me.
And then I feel like with that, Kim then retaliates,
Yeah.
and then now Kim looks bad. Well, looks worse
Yeah.
probably times.
Yeah. 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 You're right. So, I mean,
Say that again. Wait.
I said you're right. Um,
What a fine Saturday this is.
you're such a dork.
I,
Anyway, the next one.
I guess one of the latest ones, or the most recent one to memory, the Dolce and Gabbana drama.
Sure.
You guys already know what happened. This was on season 3 of the Kardashians on Hulu. So I don't even know where to recap. I'm sure you guys know. In this season's, fans saw Kim plan and execute a fashion show with designers Dolce & Gabbana. Kourtney accused Kim of copying her looks from her wedding to Travis Barker and using her wedding as a business opportunity in conversations with Kendall and Khloe. She became emotional when speaking with Kendall, expressing how the situation upsets her before she started crying. Kourtney's wedding was sponsored by Dolce & Gabbana.
Mhm.
Kim then expressed that she thought she had been mindful when choosing the looks for her show. Kim mentioned that she wanted to wait a year before doing this collaboration, but Dolce & Gabbana wanted to do it sooner. Ultimately, it was a great opportunity and she didn't want to pass it up. Kim also expressed that she was in communication with Kourtney about the show. Kourtney said that people think it's a misunderstanding. It's not, it's who she is to her core.
Again, materialistic, opportunistic, self-centered. Yes, Kim is all these things. And I think Kim herself would probably even tell you that she's all these things. But to the extent of which Kourtney took things, maybe she's not as ugly anymore. Maybe her attitude isn't as bad as it was during the keeping up days. Maybe therapy has helped her. I hope it has. But it all still feels like there was something deeper than all of that was going on, and that she's just not, like, you cannot expect to come to a resolution with someone if you're not honest about what it is that you're really thinking and feeling. You're going to keep having two very different conversations, like we saw in the premiere of season 4. Two very different conversations.
But isn't this very reminiscent of the copycat spat? She says it's so. Kourtney said it's so ridiculous that we're even having this conversation because Kim and I have completely different styles, and this is like a quote directly from her. So
Right.
even if we wear the same designer, we wear it in completely different ways.
Yeah, and now she's saying what, that
You
Kim
copied my
decided,
'90s vibe.
yeah, Kim decided to do the same kind of style, which is like,
If anything, Kim is consistent. She is seeking the opportunity and
right.
seizing the moment all
Yeah,
the time.
you're right. I think this has been an interesting uh like experiment on just running down the timeline, seeing how things have happened, and how, like, again, like I'm saying, Kim is not blameless, but you're right, she has been very consistent in her way of being. If anything, the difference now would be, or the difference I would say began like towards the end of keeping up, when Kim finally started standing up for herself in different ways, and, like, was actually battling things out with her. Because I think that Kim in the past, she was, the one that they would gang up on, and just kind of like the punching bag. Eventually, she seemed to kind of like get some nerve herself to, like, handle things on her own. And I'm sure it's gotta rub Kourtney the wrong way that because of Kim, there is this perception that she doesn't have a good work ethic, that she doesn't do anything with her life, that she's got her career solely because of Kim, and that, she's basically like living off of that. I'm sure that's got to be like a sore subject for her, because everybody thinks that now, right? Like, why did she say to Kim, get that narrative out of your head? I work my effing ass off. Like, why would you say that?
But she don't.
Well, that's the thing. In her
I mean,
mind,
in my mind, she doesn't. Like, what is work? Like, work to make money, or work like just lounging, work parenting? Like, what constitutes work in this scenario?
I
Because nobody in this world, I think, can beat Kim Kardashian right now. Actually, in this most recent episode, she says she wants to learn how to say no more and like be calmer and like do things. Not what was the exact words? Like she doesn't have to occupy every single hour
everything.
for
Yeah.
something. So
Well,
she's always on a magazine. She's always starting a business. She's always
yeah.
doing something. I mean, nobody can be at her level. That's understood.
No, that's for sure. But I think that's one of the issues that Courtney has. Kim's very similar work ethic to her mom. Yeah, I think everything ties back to Chris. I think that because
Mhm.
they, okay. So I think there was an episode we've done in the past where I talked about how like growing up, oh, it was about our Barbie giving, some sort of body image issues to people. And I remarked on the fact that like Barbie never gave me any body issues. My family did,
Mhm.
and our extended family and the way that they refer to my sister as the skinny one and all these things. I can imagine that for Courtney, maybe there was some of that going on where it was, oh, Kim's the pretty one, or Kim is this, or Kim that. Because in the baby pictures, the kids' pictures of them growing up and everything, Courtney has a very like distinct Armenian look to her, while Kim looks more like of a doll, and she's kind of more like you could put her like in little what's the those shows that they put little girls, the Toddlers in Tiara kind of girls. Like that's the vibe you see, like those pictures of Kim and Courtney. And so what if growing up there was a lot of that for Courtney? What if from an early age it was always them being pitted against one another because they're so close in age? And then on top of that, her family, like, was essentially broken up, as how she felt, by her mother. And so if Kim is similar to her mother and she has resentment towards her mother, then maybe some of that resentment's transferred over to Kim. Not
Mhm.
just because she's similar to her mother, but because they've always been pitted against one another. And Kim has only added to that, right? Because she's now pitting them against each other. She's now, kind of basically put it into everybody's mind because of the fact that the show is watched by so many people that Courtney does not do anything, that Courtney does not have the same work ethic. If Courtney and Chris were the ones who were like, okay, so what's your thing? Can you imagine? Like, again, how we talked about when we reviewed episode 1 of season 4, y'all make sure to watch it. We also mentioned how, it's gotta be like a very difficult thing dealing with the fact that your mom, is kind of like always Kim was a favorite, and like all these different things where you're not necessarily being taken serious or not, being allowed to like live the life that you want to live. So your mom and your sister coming at you like, oh, well, what's your thing? What are you doing? Blah blah blah. Like that's rough, I would think. So I'm not excusing Courtney in any kind of way, but I think that there's a lot of stuff that can be like inferred from the life that she's led, the trauma, right? That's the other thing that we talked about on that review. The trauma that we grew up on, right? The things and once we get to a certain age, it's on us to deal with that trauma. It's on us to heal from that trauma. But Courtney's never going to be able to heal from her trauma if she's still there. And
Mhm.
that was the other thing. She is still there. She needs to like move somewhere.
See, but I think that it's in another, I think of the opposite. I think that probably Kim became the favorite because everybody was ganging up on her. Like what did parents typically do? Like with the stronger ones, they kind of be like, no, they'll leave them alone.
Yeah.
Or, the XYZ ones, but there's one that you kind of have to like take care of.
Right.
So we saw in the earlier seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, they were always picking on Kim. Rob, Chloe, Chris. I mean, no, Rob, Chloe, Courtney. I don't even know if Bruce, now Caitlyn, used to at this point. It
Yeah.
was always something like, let's pick on Kim. Kim this, Kim this, Kim this.
Yeah.
So I think in one of the episodes, Chris said, well, Kim is the only one that treats me well, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Because, we saw stints with Chloe where she was just mean to her mom.
Yeah.
You know, Courtney has always been kind of like dismissive with like everybody, but
Right.
a little mean to her mom as well. Um, so I just think it became maybe a favorite because that's the daughter that treated her well or paid her more attention, or probably even it was most like her. Now, to show that preferential treatment is another thing. But
Yeah.
I think it was just because of circumstance, because they were always picking on her. And like you said, she recently kind of got her voice. It
Right.
seems like, she's just not letting Courtney like run all over her kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, and I think to some degree, Courtney had to have changed because look at her relationship with Chloe.
Yeah. It's different.
They're trying to be
They're,
what do they call it? What do they call themselves? Laverne and Shirley? What were
oh
they?
yeah, that was Courtney and Chloe.
Yeah, they try to do the whole Laverne and Shirley kind of thing, but it's just
Yeah.
not sticking. They're like, oh, let's hang out together. Let's do this. Let's do that. But why
Mm-hmm.
is Chloe with Kim now?
Right.
Why did Rob leave the show? Like, why is Chris sometimes siding? I
Yeah.
mean, with Kim, okay, we'll leave that. But Kendall and Kylie, the most recent ones
Yeah.
in the not Courtney chat, like now it seems
Yeah.
like she has beef with her younger sisters. So
Yeah.
at this point, something is pointing to there's something wrong with Courtney
Yeah.
fundamentally.
Yeah.
Not that, the rest of the Kardashians are blameless, because I'm sure,
Right.
they do their things, but I think there's something seriously wrong with her. And I wish she would fix it because she's just ruining the show for me.
I don't know. Maybe, maybe now that she is going to have a new baby, that'll be her time to like get away and stay away.
Get
Yeah.
away. No, Chris is going to be like, I have to record this. This is season 5, girl.
Right, but that's the thing. Does Courtney really want to do that with another child? Like, this is a different relationship. She's actually married now, and does Travis want to deal with that? Right? Because now it's not just her, it's not just what she wants to do. Scott was along for the ride all the time, but like, does Travis want to deal with that? Travis is a grown ass man. He's got 2 grown kids himself. You think he wants to deal with the BS that this family like kind of deals with and everything? Like, I would assume he would be like, girl, stop. Take care of this baby, and that's it. Like, you know? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see how everything turns out in the coming months, because she should be having a baby any moment now.
Mhm. So, this is my prediction or my final thought.
Uh-huh.
If she shows this baby, or if there's a storyline around her and this baby and Travis in future Kardashian episodes, I stand by saying she wants her cake and eat it too.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. Yeah.
She doesn't want to be a part of the Kardashian stuff, but she can't help it because she still wants to be relevant. She still is kind of like Kim, and she hates that to her core.
Yeah.
And she still wants the money and the notoriety and the fame. Like, if you really want to get better, you would stay away, girl. You have Poosh now, whatever that's making. What else? What is she? Oh, you got them vitamins.
Let me eat vitamins.
You got those Let Me vitamins. Isn't that making you money? Plus, Travis Barker, he got buku money. Now you don't really have to worry.
Right?
So what's the excuse?
Yeah, no, that's
I
true.
think the Kardashian brand doesn't need you. I think she's alluded to not wanting to be a part of the show.
I mean, we've already touched on that as well in the past, that like at the end of the day, it's the Jenners now that need to take over. It's really
Which they
not.
have been. I'm surprised. I'm proud.
Yeah, they
Being in
actually
the
were involved.
spotlight. They have this 6-month mark of announcing their relationships in concerts.
Yep.
PDA world tours.
Kylie went on a family trip with them. They actually were a part of most of the first episode. They
Hmm.
did a double confessional together. Like,
It was actually nothing dumb, like driving or horseback riding or whatever.
Right.
It was something of a little substance.
Right.
They're
So,
stepping up.
so Courtney, it's okay, girl.
Fall back. Por favor. That means please.
Oh, please, please do, please do.
All right, guys. That concludes today's video. That was 9 instances of Kim versus Courtney feuds.
Right.
Plus, we didn't even touch on the latest one, which is kind of still reminiscent of,
I know.
you know, the Dolce drama. But let us know what you think. Did your perception change now? Is Courtney the problem? Is Kim the problem? Are they both the problem? Yes, they are. But whose side are you on? Please tell me Kim's, because Courtney is wilding out. And I don't mean it in a Nick Cannon kind of way. So if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our videos. We're trying to grow our community and we're happy to report that we have. So your friends could be our friends and we could all be friends. And that would be, you know, a great feeling. We love interacting with you guys in the comments and, you know, phone calls, whatever, you know, however we talk to you guys. We also have social media, which Dee'll tell you about.
We're on Instagram and TikTok at Hear Me Out DNE. You guys can follow us there, like, share, comment. We do definitely enjoy having our interactions with you guys.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye bye.